Number one can be unrealistic expectations. Sometimes we come up with the grandest of goals in the beginning of the year and we just expect ourselves to just accomplish everything all at once. And at times, you realize that this goal might be a bit bigger than you expected or you. Hi, Angel. Welcome to our Evolution Diary podcast with your host, Esther Brody. Our Evolution Diary podcast is basically just my diary where I document how I'm growing and evolving into the best version of myself. And I hope I can bring you on the journey to evolving and growing and also become the best version of yourself. I hope you're here for the long haul. Enjoy. Mwah. I'm my angel. Welcome or welcome back to another episode of Evolution Diary podcast with your host Esther. And I hope you're having a beautiful, wonderful, fantastic day. I hope your day is off to a great start, and I hope everything is working in alignment for your favor. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say. I really don't have any much of an update. There's really nothing to say, to be honest. So I guess we're just going to get right into today's episode. Today I'll be talking about having grace over guilt, practicing self-compassion when you fall off your goals. Now, as we're entering a new month, it is normal to fall off your goals. It is normal to not be as consistent as you were in the beginning of the year. As we enter into this month of February, at times you can realize that you've set goals that are a bit unrealistic for you to achieve as we head into this new month, as we enter into this new month. By the way, happy new month. And by this time of the year, most people have realized that they're falling off their goals or they can't be as consistent as they hope to as they were in the beginning of the year. And it is bound to be, whether we like it or not. But you need to recognize that falling off track is normal and it happens to everyone. Beating yourself up is not the solution, but having self compassion for yourself is the key to bouncing back. In today's episode, I will explore how to respond with kindness and understanding when you feel like you're falling short of your goals, and how self compassion can help you to realign and move forward with your goals. We need to learn to have self compassion for ourselves, especially when we don't meet the expectations that we've set up for ourselves. Other people's expectations might not utter as much, but when you realize that you're disappointing yourself, it can be a bit much worse, especially for you mentally or emotionally, when you realize you're not keeping the promises you've made to yourself. Because at the end of the day, I feel like the person we should be seeking to please the most is ourselves after God. So yeah, self-compassion is treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. The same way you would give your friend a pat on the back and encourage a friend, it's the same way you should encourage yourself and give yourself a pat on the back. You can't be perfect. Not every day is going to be the same. Sometimes you're going to fall off of your goals, and that is absolutely normal. But reminding yourself that this is part of life, and sometimes you fall off and sometimes you stay on. But being graceful with yourself and giving yourself grace and being kind to yourself and being compassionate with yourself is what really matters. This is not about excusing poor behavior, but it's about acknowledging the mistakes that you've made without self judgment. It's about seeing what you've done, but not judging yourself for it. Seeing the mistakes you've made, acknowledging the mistakes you've made, and taking the lessons that you've learned from it. Self judgment helps no one. Like you judging yourself, you beating yourself up, it does no good for you. Instead of you criticizing yourself, why not just learn from your mistakes and take care of your emotions? See why you made those mistakes, learn from your past mistakes, and just move on with self compassion and self growth. Now, I'm going to give you some reasons why we do fall over our goals at times. Number one can be unrealistic expectations. Sometimes we come up with the grandest of goals in the beginning of the year and we just expect ourselves to just accomplish everything all at once. And at times, you realize that this goal might be a bit bigger than you expected, or you've given it too short of a timeline than needed. And when you realize these things as you're heading into the year, it might be a little bit saddening to realize that you might not accomplish this thing. But instead of you saying that, oh, because I can't complete this thing right now, that means I should stop working towards it. No, just lengthen the timeline that you've given yourself. Instead of giving yourself a year, why not give yourself 2 years? There's nothing wrong with expanding the timeline that you've set for a goal. The next reason that why we do fall off of our goals is life's unpredictability. Life is not predictable. Things will happen that will follow us off from our goals, and at times we can't control everything that happens. And life is very unpredictable. So you have to learn to go with the ebbs and flow of life. The next reason why we can fall off of our goals is motivation dips. At times you might not feel as motivated to go forward with your goals. That's why we need to stop relying on motivation and rely on discipline instead. And another reason why you might fall off of your goals is perfectionism. A lot of us can be a little bit more of a perfectionist with things, and that is one of the reasons that hold us back from going forward with the goals that we want to go forward with. Now, how to cultivate self-compassion when you're falling off. I mean, you've already fallen off of your goals. You've already stopped working towards that goal. You've already stopped doing the habits that push you forward with this goal. Now, firstly, you acknowledge your feelings. Accept your feelings, name your feelings without judging yourself. Know that this is what you are feeling. Know why you are feeling this feeling, but don't judge yourself for feeling it. Like I said earlier, nothing good comes from self judgment. Secondly, reframe your inner dialogue. Be kinder to yourself. Setbacks are universal. Like everybody experiences setbacks in one way or another. But being kind to yourself in the way you speak to yourself, in the way you talk to yourself is very, very important. My next one is to reflect, don't ruminate. Think back on why that thing happened, but don't sit on it. Don't just like sit there in self condemnation, in self judgment. Reflect back on what happened, but move on from it. The next one is to practice self kindness. Do things that bring you comfort, do things that bring you joy, do things that bring you happiness. Things like journaling, like a spa day, just anything that brings you comfort, that brings you kindness, that makes you feel good and warm. And my next one is to reconnect with your why. Why did you set that goal? Why is that goal important to you? And if there is no why backing that goal, maybe it's time for you to remove it from your goal list. Maybe it's time for you to stop working towards that goal. If there's no strong enough why, that does not have to do with anyone else. I mean, it can do with other people, but like, what does it have to do with you more than anyone else? Yes. Now, how to get back on track with our goals. We've learned to be compassionate with ourselves. We've seen the reasons why we're falling off our goals. We are learning to cultivate self compassion for ourselves. We already know our why, and now we're ready to get back on track with our goals. Firstly, start small. Break your goals into tiny, achievable steps. Like I said, you can lengthen the timeline of your goal. Increase the timeline of your goal. Increase the amount of time it might take you to achieve this goal. Don't just put a box on when you're trying to achieve this goal. Start small, break down your goals into small, achievable steps. My next one is to adjust your goals. Like I said, this goal might not be working for you. This goal might not be something that you're passionate about. Do not be afraid to cross some things off of your list as you not feeling the need to work towards them anymore. The next tip is to create a supportive environment. Surround yourself with people that support you, people that uplift you, digitally, physically, in any way, shape, or form. Make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that do not criticize you or make you feel less than. And my next tip is to celebrate progress. Make sure you're celebrating every small win. Make sure you're celebrating every thing that you do that seems like an achievement. Make sure you're celebrating yourself. Remember that self compassion is giving yourself the space to try again. It is okay to fall as long as you're getting back up. Your worth is not tied to your productivity and achievement. You are worthy regardless of what you achieve or how productive you are. Now, I want you to write out one thing that you're proud of yourself for, despite of the setbacks that you've faced in life, and replace one negative thought with a positive one today. Thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast episode. I'm so grateful, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye, guys. Mwah. Angel, thank you for listening to another episode of our Evolution Diary podcast. I hope you guys had a nice time. Make sure to leave your takeaways and anything that you learned from this episode in the comment section, or you can DM me on Instagram. Make sure to leave a rating and a review. Every link you need will be in the description box or in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening. I love you so much. Bye. Have a